Well, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you reside in Zoom land out there. No, you're not seeing the wrong screen, even though it says Sarah Brewer. I am Doug Brewer, her husband. Can everyone out there hear me okay? Just please answer in the chat window before we go any further. We just want to make sure that the audio is working. Okay.
Good.
Take that. That's an overwhelming yes answer, so we can definitely move on. So while Sarah and I have been in many Zoom meetings with professional colleagues and also just with friends socially, this is our first time broadcasting a webinar. So we hope that it will go as smoothly as possible, but ask for your forgiveness for any glitches we might encounter along the way. Again, my name is Doug Brewer, and together with my wife, Sarah, we run AADPRT as well as some other psychiatric associations. She is definitely the face and the brains of the operation. She's who you're used to seeing. I do more of the behind the scene things, like the website, for example, that you'll see today. So due to the very robust response we got from our invitation to view this demonstration, we actually had to make this a Zoom webinar as opposed to a Zoom meeting. So unfortunately, that means that you won't get to see or talk to your colleagues on this call today. You just have to withstand looking at my face the entire time. But you can, however, submit questions via the Q&A feature. You can also use the chat window. We'll monitor both, but prefer if you use the Q&A feature, and then we will answer those questions. Sarah may type some answers as we go, but probably we'll wait till the end and answer those questions verbally, so everyone gets a chance to understand what the questions were and, of course, hear the answer. The presentation is being recorded, so we'll send out a link immediately after the presentation today, so you can revisit this at your leisure and share it with any of your colleagues who were not able to join us today live. I intend to be fairly brief with this. I think we all have some degree of Zoom fatigue at this point. And I've kind of got a funny story about not going too deeply into things. There was a kid once who went outside of his house at night, and he looked up in the sky and he saw a constellation he'd never seen before. So he goes back inside and he finds his mom, and he says, "Mom, I wanted to know about this constellation. What can you tell me about it?" She said, "Well, why are you asking me? Your father is the astronomer." And he goes, "Oh, no. I didn't want to know that much about it." So hopefully we give you a level of information about the website and the membership renewal process today that's helpful to you, but also is not too much information. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about membership renewal first. Bear with me here. Okay, I believe everyone can see the screen that I'm sharing. This is our test site. So this is how we do behind the scene things. So if you see information on here that doesn't seem quite right, such as your account will expire on 5/19/2020, don't pay any attention to that. This is just our test site. And so in terms of the membership renewal process, this button in the lower right-hand corner, beginning July 1, which is when our membership renewal session begins, you will click this renew button. And when you click that button, you're going to see this pop-up window. And basically, we're asking you to update your profile information before you continue through the renewal process. So at this point, just go ahead and click cancel, and then go up here to my profile. And when you click that, it brings up your profile page. And we've added a membership category this year, and we've also added a question about diversity. So the first question up here, you want to make sure that your category is correctly identified. So in this case, we're doing an affiliate member. I would click affiliate member. If you have any questions about the category you fall into, you can hover over these I bubbles, information bubbles, and it will give you the definition of membership. For those of you who are residency program administrators or coordinators, this is your category down here. And you'll see in bold type here that the first residency program administrator to renew or create a new account at a particular institution is assigned the institution dues. And then any subsequent administrators or coordinators to renew or create an account are not charged any fee. But on the payment page, please be sure to go ahead and click submit, otherwise the system won't record your entry. So just that's the first thing, is to make sure that the correct category here is selected. Secondly, we've added a question this year, which is which race or ethnicity best describes you. And again, for all of these selections, you have an information bubble that you can hover over, and it will give you, it will tell you why we're asking for this information. I'll just read through it quickly. AADPRT will use information collected to help ensure representation reflecting our diversity. Information may be shared with other organizations, but will be de-identified, which means your name will never be shared. Basically, it's just for internal use, but the statistics could be shared with other organizations. Scrolling down, just take a look and make sure that the correct degree boxes are checked. Make sure your name is spelled correctly. Please don't use all caps. This system generates our name badges list for the annual meeting, and we like for everything to be in sentence caps, not all caps. So we'd really appreciate it if you didn't use all caps when typing in your name. And then I won't go through each of these categories, but just scroll down through, make sure everything's right, and then at the bottom, hit save. So with that, again, we'll entertain any questions about that at the end of the presentation. Sarah may also respond in the Q&A or the chat as we go. So that takes care of the membership renewal process. Basically, when you click renew, you're going to get that pop-up window. It's going to ask you to go to your My Profile page and make sure everything's updated. That's the new wrinkle this year, to make sure we have as up-to-date and correct information as possible. So with that, I'm going to start the tour of our new website. Now, the site has been live for about 10 days now, so hopefully you've had the chance to kind of poke around and familiarize yourself with the site, and hopefully you've come up with some questions that we can answer for you. First off, it's important to know that the only side of the site we changed is the public site. So the member portal, where we just were looking at My Profile and renewing, the member portal has not changed at all. So once you log in to go to My Profile or look in the VTO or check out the member directory or submit curriculum, that kind of thing, all of that experience will be just as it has been. We only changed the public side of the website. So the site was redesigned with two main goals in mind. The first is we wanted to update and enhance its appearance. Secondly, we wanted to improve content and how you navigate to that content, to make it easier to find the things that especially are the more popular elements. So with that, let's dive into the first part, which is the aesthetics. In terms of updating and enhancing the appearance, AADPRT is really one big family. So throughout the site, you'll find many images of AADPRT family members. We really wanted the site to bring us closer together in this currently virtual world when many of us are craving social interaction. So I hope that you find it great to see familiar faces and pictures that bring back fond memories and really add to the familial warmth of the website. In terms of appearance, we also wanted to ensure that our images display our diversity, which is incredibly important during this anti-racist movement that AADPRT, by the way, is embracing with open arms. But most importantly, wanted to represent our diversity, really our association's image in perpetuity. It's just really, really important. Thirdly, the highlight of our diversity, or excuse me, highlight of the visual interest on the website is what you've been seeing right here. In web speak, we call this the hero image of the website. This is a video from the 2020 annual meeting in Dallas. So you'll see many familiar faces in here. And again, we just hope that it brings back great memories of the times that we've spent together. Lastly, in terms of appearance, we really wanted to have a more sophisticated and more interesting graphics. So for example, I'm going to go to the Meet AADPRT page here. When you hover over images, they're animated. Not, a terribly exciting big deal, but it just adds visual interest to the site. The same thing happens when you hover over links. The little arrow moves right there, down there, next to learn more. So those are the elements in terms of the visual interest of the website. So moving on to enhanced content, and really it was very important to us that it was reflective of the pandemic that we're in, as well as the anti-racism movement. So in terms of navigation, you'll see right here that three key elements are very easy to get to. These are anti-racism resources, and then Sarah and I get tons of questions about how to join the listserv. So there's the training directors listserv button right here, and if we click that, it takes you to the instructions for how to get on the listserv and the many different listservs we have. And the same is true for program administrators. You have your own page for the listserv and a place, or it gives you a place to subscribe as well. Lastly, in terms of navigation, you'll see this large search field right here. So if you come to the website and you just don't want to take the time to look through menus up here, you can type in, for example, annual meeting. And it will return results of everywhere on the site that the word annual meeting appears. So for example, the first listing here is on the home page. Then it also appears on the Meet AADPRT page. It also appears on the annual meeting page. And so then you can click annual meeting and it takes you to the annual meeting page. So those are some of the ways that we've really tried to ease navigation. So it makes it easier for you to find the things that are the most popular or the most important to you as an AADPRT member. I would like to just briefly walk through the menu layout to familiarize you with that. So I'll go back to the home page, and you'll see the top level navigation up here is really organized by the most important topics to AADPRT. So the Meet AADPRT menu is really the boilerplate stuff. Calendar, mission, history and policies, EC, how to get involved, our news, how to contribute. Annual meeting, self-explanatory, information here on upcoming meetings, past meetings, awards and fellowships, workshops, posters, exhibitor information, etc. Membership, again, self-explanatory. And then for the last three menus, we really go into the roles of the organization: program administrators, residents, and of course, training directors. I'm going to go back to the first menu here. And what I want to point out is you'll get a brief description of what you'll find on this page here. And then you have the submenu items. When you go to this page, we're going to click on Meet AADPRT here. These submenu items are also reflected down here. So calendar, member spotlight, mission history, policies, those are all things that you'll see right here as well. So there's a couple of different ways to navigate to those pages. When you go to a particular page, like calendar, for example, the submenu items, again, these items right here, will appear in left-hand navigation. So they're on the drop-down menu. Then when you go to the main page of that menu, they're at the bottom of the screen. And then when you go to an individual element, they're on the left-hand navigation of the screen. So that brings me to the last thing I want to cover, which are the new items to the website. And we can start right here with this calendar page. We have just added a calendar page that will list AADPRT happenings and other important dates. This will not be a calendar that's used for dates of events of other organizations, for example, like their annual meetings. You won't find that here. This is really pretty AADPRT centric. You know, we had the Juneteenth date on here. Obviously, that's very important. And then when you click on it, it will give you the detail of that particular calendar item. The date, and in this case, Juneteenth, is the oldest national celebration of the end of slavery in the United States. You go down here to the event that's occurring right now, the new website demonstration. And this gives you all of the you know, the Zoom call information and details about this event. So as you click on, you know, each one of those, you'll see the detailed information. You can navigate by month, by week, by day, see what's happened or see what's happening throughout the year in list form. And you can even view that list by month, by week, by day. So it's a pretty robust calendar feature, and excited that it will hopefully help keep you up to date on AADPRT happenings. Another new feature this year is the member spotlight. And Randy Welton, who is the 2021 program chair, happens to be our first person honored in the member spotlight. So you can read here why he's being featured. Another new feature of the website, and this will occur under both the training director menu and the program administrator menu, is our anti-racism and diversity resources. Now, these are resources that have been supplied and vetted by AADPRT members. So you'll see a brief introduction here about being allies with the Black community and the importance of that. You'll see statements from allied organizations regarding this movement. You'll also see the categories we've divided this information into: curricula and teaching resources, and then media and books. And there's quite a few resources here already. And there is a place right here if you would like to upload a resource for us to add to the page. Similarly, we did this a while back, but we developed a COVID-19 Training Director resource page. And this page, I'm sure many of you have seen by this point, but it's updated regularly. It tells you up here at the top when it has been last updated. But these are really distance learning resources. And they're divided into how to implement telepsychiatry. DLR simply stands for Distance Learning Resource. How to implement telepsychiatry. The second category is physician wellness. And then the third category is resident teaching materials. And these are anchor links. So if you click on residency teaching materials, for example, it will take you down to the point in this page. You haven't left this page. It takes you down to the point in this page where the resident teaching materials reside. And lastly, a new page we've added are addictions resources. This has been put together by the Addictions Committee that's chaired by Ann Schwartz. And you can navigate to the resources and also see a listing of the resources on a spreadsheet. So I promised to be fairly brief. I hope I've accomplished that, and at the same time have given you a good 30,000-foot view of your new website. Certainly encourage you to poke around on the website, get familiar with it, and certainly ask us any questions via email if you don't think of them during this presentation. And so with that, I think we'll go to the Q&A. Sarah's here in the room with me. I think I'll just have her read them out loud, and we'll see if we can't get these answered for you.
The first question is, our program has a new name in ACGME. How do I update the institution's name in my profile?
Okay, updating the institution's name needs to be done by Sarah and I. If the name does not exist in the drop-down menu, you'll just need to email us, and we will get it added to the list of institutions.
The next question, can the member update their profile without paying and then have the payment made at a different time?
Absolutely. You can update so long as you have an active account, you can update your profile, log in and update your profile at any time, and we encourage you to do that. And then once that's done, again, go to your dashboard and click the renew button and go through that process.
Is there going to be an upload resource link on every resource page, such as the one on the diversity page?
We have an upload resource link on both the anti-racism page as well as the COVID-19 Training Director resources page. And those are the only two pages that offer the opportunity to upload resources. If you have resources outside of those two categories that you would like us to consider putting on the website, please reach out to us via email and we'll get that dialogue started.
Are these resources vetted before final post?
Yes, they are. These resources are vetted by AADPRT leadership to make sure they are germane and accurate for the particular topic.
In particular with the anti-racism page, that page we are actually working in concert with the Diversity and Inclusion Committee to get their look over the materials that have been submitted and also posted. How can we obtain an invoice to give to the institution to process the renewal fee payment?
Great question, and a very common one. The invoice is generated when you go through the renewal process. So let me just navigate to the dashboard, and I'll walk you through that. So you click renew, and yes, we've updated our my profile information because we're really, really good people. And then it'll ask you, well, for affiliate members and individual members as opposed to PAs, it'll ask you if you want to subscribe to the Academic Psychiatry Journal. So we'll just click yes, we'll click renew. And here it says you're about to choose a payment method. This action can't be reversed. If you want to pay by credit card, if you're unsure if you want to pay by credit card or check, please return to this page once you've determined the payment method. So close that window. And then the first payment method here is pay online. And the second payment method is pay by mail. If you're going to pay online with a credit card, you can use this button to print a credit card invoice and also submit your payment and print a receipt. And similarly, if you're going to pay by check, we'll just go ahead and click that. Just gives you another warning to make sure that that's the selection that you want. You click OK. And then this is a pretty important warning. When we receive checks, it's really important that the invoice is included with the check, simply because that tells us who to assign the payment to, who to credit the payment for, rather. When we don't have an invoice and it just says XYZ institution, we don't necessarily know who to whose account to give credit to. So I know this is a little bit of a wrinkle in terms of working with your accounts payable department, but please try to print the invoice and get it included with the check, and it makes the process just go much more smoothly. So I can click print invoice, and there it gives me the option to do it as save it as a PDF, for example, or actually print a hard copy. And this button, the print invoice button, also exists here as well. And then once you've selected a payment method, on your dashboard on the left-hand side here is also a print invoice button. So there are 3 opportunities to get that invoice printed and get it over to your accounts payable department.
And the last question that we have, will people be able to select more than one role category this time? Fellowship, i.e. fellowship director and residency director and department chair, for those people that really have a lot of ambition to do a lot of jobs.
No, it really is limited to one particular role. I hope I'm answering your question correctly, but it's affiliate member, emeritus member, individual psychiatrist whose institution is an AADPRT member. The new category this year is psychologist whose institution is an AADPRT member. And then we got international members and of course program administrators, but you will be only able to select one role.
It's also one category. I think the person is asking about the category.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, down here, a career medical educator is currently selected for this person. This again is just limited to one selection only. You do also have the opportunity to type in your title here. So this is a box where you could add information. So if you wanted, for example, to say department chair and training director, for example, you could indicate that in this field. But for the category field up here, it is limited to just one option.
Right now, we don't have any other questions. So while we're waiting to see if any others come in, I want to be sure to give credit to Josepha Chong, Carl Chan, Art Walazek, and Joan Anzia. They are the 4 people that have provided photos for AADPRT over the years. And that is who deserves the credit for all the beautiful photos we have of all of you. Actually, another question just came in. Is program administrator just coordinators? What would program directors choose as their role? So yes, program administrator and coordinator is an interchangeable title that AADPRT uses. So we know that some people or some institutions go by residency coordinator, others go by program administrator. So that's our interchangeable title. If you're a program director, you would choose training director or any subspecialty that you are. If you are the CAP ATD, you would choose that category. And then someone said, we need an invoice prior to making an online payment to give our payment area so they can process the payment. So they would press the invoice button.
Yeah, just go through the renewal process, press the print invoice button, and then that will allow you to print out an invoice or save it as a PDF, and then you can get that over to your accounts payable department.
I'm not seeing any other questions at this point.
Okay, well, I know we scheduled this for an hour. We were unsure as to how quickly I would get through this, and also unsure in terms of the volume of questions we might have, but we've made it through this in about 30 minutes. So we are delighted to give you back a half hour in your day. And again, if you have any other questions regarding the website, we're more than happy to answer those for you. Just email us and we'll get you taken care of. So have a great rest of your day, a fantastic weekend, and we'll hopefully talk to you again soon. Take care.